Alright, so it's been a while since I did a random toy review because I was gone for winter break, and I kind of want this channel to be more than just this. I'm going to upload stuff that a lot of my artwork and projects that I do here at my college, but in the meantime, I could do a random toy review, and I'm going to be stepping away from Transformers and doing more Lego construction, mostly Bionicle and Hero Factory. So we're going to start with the Hero Factory set from the Breakout wave. Now, Breakout was my absolute favorite thing to come out of Hero Factory. It was clearly them at their peak. So much creativity. And one of the cooler sets is Voltix here. Because now that we're in his mode, it's not Transformer, he only has one mode. I guess we'll do a zoom in of his head. Yeah, definitely one of the strangest, not strangest, but like just more eccentric villains to come out of Hero Factory, even for the standards of Breakout. I mean, right now we already know he's using the gunmetal gray version of the Black Phantom head, the one that was first used on him, and this head will be used 3 times, by the way. Voltix, Black Phantom, and Speed Demon. I'll go ahead and zoom out, or not zoom out yet. I'll get a closer look at it. As you can see, he's got a lime green Bionicle Glatorian head underneath. Using an axle system right here. And we'll go over the pros and cons. Let's go over his features or what it looks like. Now, first of all, I'm going to go ahead right out of the bat and say, what the heck is this color scheme? Because, I mean, okay, you got underneath his bone, underneath his armor, his bone structure is mostly kind of like black and red. Okay. You throw in some gunmetal. Alright. His feet aren't gunmetal, they're black. Okay. And he's got purple armor up here. Alright. And his head's gunmetal, and his underneath kind of head is a neon translucent lime. Alright. I mean, his main power is electricity, so I guess they kind of wanted to go for all... Let's throw in the entire rainbow in the sky. I think only orange is missing, but they did a, you know, pretty good job at that if that's what they were going for. He's on the back here. At least he has a foot on the back. He's not just like, you know, open like a lot of like 2011 Hero Factory sets are. He is. Come on. Yeah, he is armored on the back, so which is nice. They use a foot piece. I guess go over some neat little functions he has. First of all, articulation is great. Obviously, he's using the character creature building system that pretty much Lego used for a long time. I think they're still using it. Yeah, Lego still uses this. So you have 3 in each leg, 3 in each arm, and he's got 2 in the neck/head. So you can get in almost everything's ball joint oriented. So yeah, you can do so much. Don't drop your little ball. You know, he can do so much, which is really nice. Another feature he has is, as you see, the ball, or the shooter. Obviously, the term Zamorsphere refers to the ones from Bionicle, but I mean, Hero Factory did kind of use the same, like, little ball thing. So I guess we'll call them Zamorspheres, even though I think they're just called, like, shooters or whatever. But yeah, obviously, in the TV show, this was really for, like, electricity. I think, if I remember, it's been years since I watched the friggin' Hero Factory TV show, but, like, pretty sure he just like shot electricity out of this or whatever. Kind of like Emperor Palpatine in a way. So you just take this, plug it in, take your, obviously Lego Bionicle introduces with the Thor and Axe launcher, but you click this and hopefully I won't lose this. Come on. Come on. I'm kind of scared because the thing is I know it's going to go flying. We'll see. Woo! Baby! Here you go. Don't know if that caught, but yeah, you just kind of, you press down on here, and it goes like that. I'll just go ahead and put it back in there. And he gets a yellow one because, you know, I guess a yellow lightning You know, electricity, that's kind of his gimmick, in case you didn't already know. Another one is this tentacle. Now, they're using a kind of a tentacle that was used with the Baraki and Bionicle. It's, I guess I'll take it out of his hand here. Yeah, it's weird. It's got these weird barnacles on it, so it doesn't really work. But I think what they were trying to go for with it is, this is like a lightning whip that he just like whips people, kind of like the that villain from Iron Man 2, like Whiplash. I think I never saw Iron Man 2. I don't know, but yeah, I know. So you can turn it too. So you spin it here, and it spins around, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool in itself, even though it doesn't really look like a lightning whip. If you just kind of like, you know, or something. Just use your imagination. It's Lego. But yeah. And another, I guess, thing he does, one last kind of gimmick, is that this can go down. Not sure what it does. I think if you put it down, it's like, okay, he's kind of turned off. Then you flip it up, and now he's all like juiced up, or he's like spearing electricity like he is out of his head popped off. We'll go into the cons in a little bit, but like it's like he is out of the side of his head. I don't know. I think that's what they're going for, because I remember he did like that in the cartoon when he escaped. He was actually a really major character in the TV episode, the TV special, because he was the one that kind of like, I remember it started with the heroes capturing him. Now granted, I haven't seen this since like 2013 or 14, so like trying to recall something that I watched 10 years ago. But yeah, like he set out a burst of electricity that like, I guess, created like a portal, but also at the same time like a weird blackout, like a weird power outage that unlocked all of the jail cells, and so all the villains escaped. So that's really that was kind of the whole plot of the breakout line, or the breakout wave. But yeah, you know, so that's pretty much all the functions and pros of Voltix. I guess I'll talk about his armor. You know, it's the standard TCBS armor. Looked all powered up, doesn't look incomplete or anything. Looks rather nice. I guess we'll go into some cons. Not a whole lot of cons, because it's a very solid set. But I guess I'll start with the fact that he's using TCBS, but he's not using the fist pieces, so he's still using these these classic, Bionicle style connector hands that some might consider that a con. I don't know. It looks kind of awkward because he's got no fingers, so he doesn't really fit in well. I mean, there's a way. I mean, with the hose connections, there's a way they could have maybe done it a little better, but I don't know. I guess it is what it is. I guess another con I'll have to go over. I just need to go over is the fact that he's using a Glatorian head. So I'm gonna take it off real quick, and it came off. But I'm gonna go ahead and there's all this wiring and all this hose are connected to his head or his backpack. So as you can see, I'm gonna zoom in on the camera here. It's using the Glatorian head that was introduced in 2009, and if you remember, if you're a Bionicle fan, then you know that the socket joints from 2008 and onward were extremely brittle, and they broke super easily. And since this is a head that was introduced in 2009, check that out. Yep, I was a kid, and I took it apart a lot, because it's Lego. If you take it apart, you put it back together. That's what you do with Lego. And yeah, that eventually snapped off. Now, the reason for that is this headpiece was introduced in 2009, and so Voltix here was released in 2012. So because of that, they had used the brand new CCBS system and ditched these. Like, for example, every other socket joint is part of the CCBS, so it's much more stable, a lot harder, more stronger. So why, and it's not just him, there's the Glatorian head was used all over Breakout. All the heroes had it. Most of the villains had it. Why didn't they remold this head? This was 2012, and they're still using that same, very slim, very brittle socket connection that everyone complained about back when Bionicle was using it. Why? I don't get it. And you can't tell me that they could remold it, because there are parts, like for example, the foot pieces on Toxic Reapa, also from Breakout. Those were previously used on, those are the same ones that were used on one of the Agori from Bionicle, what is it? I think it was like his name was Zesk or something. It was like the weird sand one. But yeah, so like the Off Matoran, the Shadow Matoran, were using those foot pieces when they had those brittle joints. And when they used it for Hero Factory, for Toxic Reapa, they remolded it like this so that it wouldn't break. So why couldn't they do it for the Glatorian head? I don't get it. I do not understand why they couldn't remold the Glatorian head to be more stable, or at least use a different head. I don't get it. The good news is, this is the only one for me that broke, and because Voltix has all these like wires connected to his head, if it does kind of pop off, it'll still kind of stay on, because these wires will hold it in place. But if that happened on any other figure, like Storm or Excel, if that happened on one of the heroes or anything, like I'd be screwed. And there's probably a lot of kids out there who did end up getting screwed because they didn't know that they were taken apart and put back together. Very brittle joint pieces, or socket pieces, I should say. So that's a huge con. Other than that, I can't think of any cons. I mean, legs are fine. You know, he's got the articulation. The gimmicks are all good. He has a nice sturdy appearance, very threatening. The only other con I could think is the color scheme. The color scheme seems very inconsistent. I'm not quite sure why it's purple up here, but yet there's none down here, and why the feet are not gunmetal to match the armor. I'm not sure why they did that. Oh, and also another thing, this open socket joint here can be distracting to some. I don't mind it, but I mean, it can be distracting to some. Makes him look a little incomplete, like he's missing a piece, even though he's not. But other than that, I don't see anything wrong with Voltix. I think Voltix is a very solid set. Almost solid, again, that socket joint. But you know, if you find one on eBay that's in good condition, I say go for it. If you like Hero Factory, and if you're a fan of Breakout, which I was a huge fan of Breakout, Breakout was easily the best thing to come out of Hero Factory. And I was a Hero Factory fan back in the kid. Like, for me, growing up, Hero Factory was like my Bionicle. I mean, it was like my whole childhood. I loved this stuff. So yeah, Breakout was the best thing, and Voltix is one of the coolest villains, especially canon-wise in the TV show, and in set form to come out of the Breakout wave of Hero Factory. So get him if you can. I don't see anything too wrong with him. He makes a great display piece, and that's about it, except for the tentacle. Again, they couldn't use any other piece except for a Baraki tentacle. I mean, are you sure? All right. Your choice, Lego.